All right. I think I got that all fixed. I think I got that all fixed. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it about 2 minutes. Was waiting, trying to work on this screen here. Y'all know how that is. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of time, let people come on in. Give it some time to let people come on in, and then we're gonna get this screen shared right now. So you got the screen shared. I see that my microphone is showing, so that's a good thing. There it goes. I got you. Can you hear me loud and clear? And welcome to today's Sunday charting school. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Oh, okay, perfect, perfect. So I know that this is recorded clearly because it's on YouTube and it will be shared through various networking sites or social sites. So if you can, go ahead, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, just to start this thing off right. Wishing peace and a green week to everyone. Also, I want to start off right. And we're going to get it started. We're going to get it started. I'm going to get going here. I want to be very mindful of everyone's time. So let me get to my chart. And if you have any questions as I'm going along, feel free to go in the chat, communicate with one another, but also ask questions if you have any questions. So I'll be going along with that. But my main focus with this is to help others become proficient, profitable prop traders. So, in the way of doing that is by charting, by doing technical analysis. My way of doing technical analysis is essentially to cut off all the noise on the outside and focus primarily on the chart. I want to focus on the chart. Let me clear my screen a little bit as well. I can make this probably a little bit bigger. There we go. So the goal is to focus on the chart, not the outside noise. The thing is with trading, and I guess you can say this is an opinion, the charts come before the news. I've never gotten into a trade where the news came out and then I got in the trade and it was successful. It's always been I'm in the trade because of the technical analysis. And then after that, a news day, something will happen in the news, it'll be released, and then bam, there it goes. It'll be a great trade. It's happened recently with USD JPY. It's happened with oil. It's happened with Tesla. It's happened with Apple. I can go on and on and on with a lot of different ways that this has happened. Not sure why. It doesn't even matter. The main thing that I want to focus on is that we focus on the charts because the charts is what's going to free yourself from where you're at to where you want to go by focusing in on the charts. So, and my main thing is to focus also on forex, but I do want to mention some stocks in there as well because we also have investors. We also invest as well into different stocks. I primarily focus on forex, but I will throw some stocks in there. So let's go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna start off with the ES. Somebody told me to start off with the ES. Everybody likes hearing about the ES. I think they're saying that because it's futures, but if you're looking at the ES, it's the S&P 500, so the top 500 stocks. It's an ETF. You could look at the SPY. You could look at the SPX. If I was speaking about forex, I could go into the SPX, which I most likely will as well, just to show the correlation between the two. Let me remove all. All right, so as always, I like to start off with the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour because I am a swing trader. In trading and stocks, money is made when the value of a stock is always not always, but a lot of stocks they grow in time. If you're scalping, you're not staying in that trade long enough to actually get the benefit of a growing asset. If you're getting in at the day and getting out at the day the same day, you're not you can make money, yeah, but also you're putting a lot of time and effort into something that's going to continue to grow. And just for an example, if you had S&P here, I'm gonna go to the spot. I'll actually go to the spot just to make it. If you look at the spot right here, right? If this bullish area, I'll make a vertical line on August the 5th. That was August. That was August the 5th, right? On August the 5th, S&P was around 500, and then it between 500 and I think that's 531. Yeah, 500 and 510 and 531. Now that's 1 week's worth of trade right there. Now that's what 20, 21. I'm around, so we'll just say $20. That's $20 in a week. But if you would have continued to hold on through, that's roughly about 90 to what's that, 90? Yeah, roughly around $90 right there just by holding on. So that's the reason I like to swing trade because you can get a bigger bag, I'll say. I'll use those terminologies. You can get a bigger bag by doing so, by allowing your trade to hold, right? So now we're gonna go into the charting side of it. We'll start off with the ES. So starting out with the ES, looking at it right now, it's always considered quote unquote overvalue, right? I'm looking at the VWAP, the anchored VWAP, to show me that if price is above the anchored VWAP, it shows that it's overpriced. But I like to go and chart it. So what I'm gonna do by charting it is, as I always like to say, take a look at the take a look at your Fibonacci's. I like to use the Fibonacci's, or you can just look at your swing high. And currently, the most recent swing high, which price is above, is right here between at 5,721. I like to use that whole candle that's on July 15th. Just using a whole candle, right? That whole candle would be considered my retail zone. Now remember, we buy wholesale and sell retail. So because prices at this retail level, currently we're not looking to buy because there's no profit margin in it. You know, although price is it could still go up and still be bullish, is how much will you get from that? You're not going to get much from that because price is already up. And if anything, I'm looking more potentially on the downside. Let's see here. I would be looking on the downside. You have the prices at retail, and if I'm saying retail, well, what's the wholesale levels? Well, you have your swing high, and then you have a swing low. I like to add the Fibonacci's on there because it kind of helps me just see the levels. I could take them off as well, could just take them off as well, but I like to actually see the numbers and keep a good idea in my head regarding such. So we see that it's at the retail area, and I have my daily down here. And on a daily, looking at the stochastics, with the stochastics on a daily, we see also right here that it's high. Price is high right now. You don't want to buy when it's overpriced. You want to see the price over 50, below 50. You want to see the price below the stochastics value below 50 prior to taking a bullish trade. Now, if we're bearish, which we are, I would be more bearish than bullish. I'm not saying that it's just gonna go down right now, but I wouldn't be looking to buy at this time. If that makes sense, type of one in the chat. If that makes sense, type of one in the chat. So, well, if we are bearish, right? If we're bearish on this, well, what should we be looking for? Well, that's where I have the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we're looking for lower lows to be created. Now, for my lower lows, I have the red line there that you see. I have the red line that you see over here on my 4 hour time frame. That's when I'm gonna get in my trade. When price breaks this 4 hour, if I was looking to take a bearish trade on the SPY, I would definitely get in at the break. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna click on the seasonality. I'm just curious to see. I'm curious to see the seasonality. I like doing the past 7 years. I like looking. Well, I'll keep it the same actually. So let's see. Exclude non-election years. I want to see what it looks like during non-election years. So I put non-election years. I put a hyphen on here. Non-election years. So in October, which we're at the end of October, we're heading into November. We're heading into November. We see that it has a 78% win rate in November. So, eh, we'll see how that goes. I think that things change. I just actually want to see what it looked like on this end. I just want to see what the seasonality looks like. So possibly it could just stay the same and consolidate right here at the top. We do have the elections around the corner. I don't get too much into that kind of talk because, like I said, I like to stick with the technicals only. So sticking with the technicals only. Looking at the S&P, I wouldn't say that it was something to buy at this moment. And the reason why, I have a why to every reason. Otherwise, what are you even talking about, right? The why to it would be the stochastic is too high right now. So either we're going to get a consolidation right here at this level, or we could get a drop. And I wouldn't look for the bullish momentum on this. Let me check the chat real quick. Okay, okay. So now what we're gonna go into is silver. We'll look at gold first. We'll go with gold. We'll talk about lawful money. We'll go over some lawful money. And I'll get more into that as well as we continue to go on every Sunday on your charting Sunday school. Is that what I called it? Charting Sunday school? So looking at gold, man, I'm not maybe it's my bias thoughts, but gold is something that I would never probably sell. And the reason I say that, it has a lot of one is it's lawful money. If you look at your constitution, if you read the constitution, your article, I believe it may be Article 4. Uh, it's the lawful money. And maybe going forward, I'll start pulling up some stuff, and that way we can actually go through it and see. We'll go through the charts, but also go through some things that's in the Constitution that shows that gold is the lawful money. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I'll definitely incorporate that into this because it's very informational and it's about helping others. So, but just for your information, go take a look at the Constitution. You don't have to do it right now, but add it to your side of your notes. Constitution gold. Gold and silver are considered your lawful money. So onto the charts. Gold right now is also considered overpriced. And it's just that if you were to buy it right now, if you were to buy the physical gold, you would just be paying a higher. And it's like, why pay? You don't have to pay the higher price when you can wait for it to come down because prices always they do fluctuate. Prices do fluctuate. So you can wait for it to come down and then get some at that time. Currently, gold has been going up. Gold has just been going up, and you could add your own speculative reasons to that, but I won't add my speculative reasons to that. But definitely, gold has continued to go up, and I would just assume I'll make an assumption if gold continues to go up, that's because people aren't selling it. If people aren't selling it, they're holding their gold. What prices the value of it is going to continue to go up because the supply will be down. If the supply is down, then the demand is going to continue to increase. And with the demand increasing, the prices will also increase. So right now on gold, as we see that it's clearly high right now. But what I will do is I'll go ahead. I like to look at the swing high. Let me refresh this chart. Well, I know where it's at. So the swing highs right here. That's the swing high right now. So it passed up the swing high. Price went above the swing high, and that could potentially make this the new support level down here. Price can come back to the support level. Now, about the anchored VWAP, and I go over this probably every Sunday, is the anchored VWAP is something to look at. And the reason I like to look at it is because it shows that price is above the anchored VWAP, then it's showing that it's overpriced. If price is at the anchored VWAP, then it's the average price, right? Anchored VWAP is the volume weighted anchored price, if I'm correct, average price. So that purple line is showing you where the average price is at for gold. Now below the anchored VWAP, that will show you that hey, this is below price. This is below value. So it's something that I have on my charts and I'm very mindful about because, like I said, I like to buy wholesale and sell retail. And I think that that makes sense towards anybody. If you just take a second and you think about it, anything that you've bought to make a profit on, you would want to buy it wholesale, right? Because you can get it for less. You can get it for less. You can get more quantity for less, and then you can sell it retail, right? Retail is where you have your consumers at. Where you have your consumers at, guess what? You can sell it higher. You can sell it higher at that point. Let me read this. So Noah says, at what point would the zone flip from a retail to wholesale? So one thing that I've learned is this box. So once price pass above the retail area, that to me now is the new wholesale area. But we gotta wait for it to come back down. So every week, that's the thing I like about Sundays or the weekend in general when the market is closed, you can come in and take a look at this and see. So for me, I use TrendSpider, and it's showing me that the swing high is at this level. So even if I hit this little refresh, this is the Fibonacci's, right? You can use your fibs. See, it's the same. Now I like using that. To me, I could actually do the charting as far as the swing highs by myself. It hasn't formed the new swing high yet until it reaches like say a top point until it starts coming back down. So once it comes back down, just say hypothetically, if hypothetically price was to come back down from this level, say this candle that's about to begin today, if price started coming back down, well, this candle on October the 21st, I'll put a vertical line there. This candle would be our new swing high. It would make our new swing high. That makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense in the chat. So we have the fib here right now. This was a swing high. This was the most recent swing high. So it swung high right here. It came down, letting you know that this is the swing high, and then it retraced and continued to go back up. So now when would the next one be? Well, the next swing high would be once we make that pivot. So just think of it as a pivot point where price goes somewhere and it turns around. And that gives you your swing high and your swing low. So let me know that that makes sense to you, Noah, in the chat, and I'll proceed. So if you guys have any questions, appreciate it. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you feel free to type them in the chat. It's more than my pleasure to be able to assist and hopefully answer those questions. If I can't answer it, we'll get to it together and we'll come up with an answer. We'll definitely get it figured out. Mahogany, welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Peace, peace, peace. So we went over gold. Gold is a long term buy period. I'm not saying buy it right now. I'm not telling you to buy it right now. I'm saying it's something to hold on to forever. Gold is also just a little fun fact about gold. Gold is the most, what is it? Gold is a conductor of electricity. That's something to check out. That's science for you, right? So gold is a conductor of electricity. I won't go too much far. I won't go too far into that, but that's something to look at and just think about. Gold is a conductor of electricity. So now, with that being said, we're gonna go over to silver. We have so back to gold. Gold was overpriced right now. We're not taking a trade on it. I like to go over some of the top ones and also the lawful money. That way, people can be aware that this is our lawful money, our constitutional money here. So we'll go over that technically, not the. You know what? Actually, what I will do is I'm gonna pull up something here because I do want to get into this now. So we're gonna add a little. I want to add a little education into this if I could find it. Okay, perfect. I think it's right here. I'll read this to you. I'm gonna read this to you. So according to the Coinage Act, I believe it was the Coinage Act of 1772. I'll read this. A dollar or unit, each of to be the value of a Spanish meal dollar, as the same is now current, and contains 371 grains and 4/16 parts of pure or 416 grains of silver. So a dollar, this basically says a dollar is supposed to be equated to 1 ounce of silver, right? This is the coinage act. You can go look this up yourself. I'm not making this up. This is the coinage act. It's still intact today. A dollar is supposed to be valued at the price of 1 silver ounce. Currently, 1 silver ounce is at $33.68. Let me know in the chat if you can go take your dollar down to the bank and get 1 ounce of silver. Let me know if you can go get 1 ounce of silver. I know that answer already, so I'll go ahead and tell you that you can't. You can't do that. Now, why? That's something for you to figure out. That's some homework for you. Why is that? Why can you not take your dollar down and get uh some silver? What is that about? So taking a look at silver. Taking a look at silver, currently is overpriced right now. We have silver at the average price of $30. So I tell my kids this. I say, hey, I buy them silver, and I always tell them like for they get silver for reading books. You read a book, you write a report about it, you get a silver coin. Now, long term, the thought of it is buy silver under 30, at least right now at this moment. Buy silver under 30, sell it at 50. Buy silver under 30, sell it at 50. So Right now, currently, silver is at $33. It's passed above that average price of 30. And as we see here on the daily, it's currently above price. So we're not looking to buy it right now. We're not looking to buy it. We just want to chart it, see what it's looking like silver. Long term on silver, though, the same as gold. Silver and gold. Silver and gold. That's funny. So yeah, we silver and gold there, and what else? Bitcoin, Bitcoin, USD. I didn't take a look at Bitcoin over the well, it is a weekend. I didn't take a look at it earlier, but Bitcoin right now, currently, the average price for Bitcoin is 64,427, and currently it is above that. Uh, it's overpriced right now. Bitcoin is overpriced right now, so we're not looking to trade that right now. We're not looking to. I'm not looking to take Bitcoin to the downside. Bitcoin is a speculative. They don't call it an asset. I think they consider it a commodity. Bitcoin is a speculative commodity, so I will treat it just as that speculative risk. Knowing that it's not constitutional money. And that's something to just be mindful about. You can continue to learn about Bitcoin, of course, but it's not it's not our constitutional money, and to me, that says a lot to me. The Constitution has been around for quite some time here, and it's the reason of America, in a way, being of existence. I won't go too deep into that, but Bitcoin is considered a commodity, right? So treat it as such. Understand that it's a risky, speculative asset as well, and it could continue to grow. Let me refresh this right now. Let's see where we're at. All right, so Bitcoin could continue to grow. Even right now at 67,000. What time do we have? All right, even at 67,000, Bitcoin right now could go to 83,000. Um, you That's just something to be mindful of. You are at about average price, so I won't say it's a bad thing. But like I just always want to think about profit margin. I always, just like a business, if you're buying a product, I want to get the best profit margin on the product. And right now, Bitcoin is about average price right now. So there's not the even though we see 83,000 potentially at the golden ratio on the Fibonacci's, even though we see it at 83,000, it most likely can get to 83,000, right? But what is the profit margin? I don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy above price. If prices are below, then okay, price is below. But if it's below, you also can get a better price. That's why we want to go with buying wholesale. If we're buying, we want to buy wholesale and sell retail. People say when I started out trading, they would say buy low, sell high, and it's not just buy low, sell high, because something can be low and continue to go lower. Kind of like when people average down. People average down in their trades or in their stock investments. I'll go with trades. I'll leave it at trades. People average down on their bad stock trades. They'll just keep buying, and that's just, to me, that's just like putting money into a trash can, and the trash can don't have a bottom. So you just keep putting money in there. You're hoping that it'll go up. Yeah, sometimes you do get lucky. Sometimes you will get lucky, and there will be a bottom at one of those trades, and then you'll make your money back. But just wait, just be patient. Don't just understand what you're doing. Understand where the market is at, your asset, your forex, your ticker is at, and then go from there. So right now with Bitcoin, it's currently above price, so we're not going to take a look at that one. Now let's see here. We went over those three. Now I do have something I've already taken a look at. Euro GBP. So now we're into the forex. We're into the forex. These are the things that I'm going to be looking at that we can potentially trade this week. So if you're a forex trader, or if you're open, interested in becoming a forex prop trader, here you go. These are some of the top major pairs that I'll be charting. I have about four on the list. I have four forex tickers and two stock tickers. So let's get started on that. Euro GBP. You got the Euro British Pound. Right now, we're going to go through the whole charting sequence of it. Right now, Euro GBP is currently below value. We got our swing low right now, so we're I mean, we're way below swing low right now, right? Way below the wholesale price. And then we have our swing high. We got our swing high right now. I like to, like I said, I like to use the swing high the entire candle for this. So we have our swing high and our swing low, or our wholesale level and our retail level. Now that that's done, now that we're done with the weekly, that's the only reason I'm using the weekly is to see the swing high and swing low. Um, Euro GBP, it could go down just a little bit. There's not that much room on the downside, but we look at the daily. Now we go to the daily, we see the stochastics. The stochastic is currently sitting at about 30 to 32. Hmm. 30, we can go with either the K% or the D%, whichever one. They have their different meanings. I highly encourage you to study and understand what those mean. Um, Basically, to me, the way I look at it is it shows you the value of buying. So if you're buying a product, we'll just call Euro GBP a product. If you're buying a product, well, you're getting about a from 100, you're getting a 70% discount, right? So, okay, that seems pretty cool because we have the average price up here. The average price at the VWAP is at 0.84. You see that purple line right here? I'll make it a little bigger, not a lot bigger. 0.84. So we know we're getting it below price if we were to buy it. But what's most important as a forex trader, what's also important is your entry and your risk management. So the entry on here, we're below right now. So I like to see I like to see the stochastic honestly below 15, below 20. It's at 30 right now. So I'll go ahead and grade this trade at a B. So let me write that down. I'll rate this trade at a B. Now why a B? And for me, I just like to see the stochastics down a little bit more. It is under 50. It is under 50. That's a good thing. And if it was under 20 or 15, that would be an A because that lets me know that there's not that much room that it can go down. I'll be willing to take an A trade. And the reason it'll be an A trade is because there's more risk to that trade. I'll have more risk to that trade if it was below that 15 to 20 value area on the stochastics. Currently, it's at 30. So I'll give it a B. Now, well, okay, you give it a B. What does that mean? Well, you always when you're doing you always want to risk manage. You always want to manage your risk. So one, what does that mean? To not trade, to always trade between let's say 1 to 2% of your account balance, your principal. Then now me, I never go to 2%. I've I don't think I've ever went to 2%. I manage my risk by sticking between 0.65 and 1%. 0.65 and 1%. So on this trade, I always have A and B trades. On my B trades, that's 0.65. On my A trades, that would be a 1%. Now the 1% just letting me know like, okay, well there's the reason I would do that more so is because price may not have that much more room to go down because of the stochastics. This stochastic is at 30, so I'm kind of aware like, oh, there may be a little bit more room for the downside. I think the market's open as well. Let's see here. I think they open at 4:30 maybe. But so right now, price may consolidate, it may continue to go down. Well, what are you looking at for an entry? Higher highs. That green line right here, the previous day high. Well, what do you do? What are you going to use for your entry? The previous day's high. What do you use for your entries? The previous day's high. If you're bullish, why do you say that? What have you always heard in trading? I'm gonna check the chat as well. What have you always heard in trading? You hear, oh, it's going to make higher highs. Oh, bullish, it's making higher highs. Well, that's how you get into the trade. Then just think about it. If a bullish trade is one that's making higher highs, well, that means you should get in on the bullish trend then, right? If it's bullish and it's going up, well, just wait for the higher highs to be created and then get in at that moment. All right. So looking at Euro GBP, I have that as a B rated trade, and we have it going bullish, looking for higher highs to prevail for us this week. And I set alerts. I set alerts, or you can set your trade. You can do a what do you call it? A limit order. You can do your limit order, and you can go to sleep. You know, you're only looking. Think about it. All right. If you're getting into a trade based on the daily time frame on higher highs, well, how many trades can you make that day on that ticker? One. Price is only going to go above that daily one time for the day. It's not, there's going to be one entry. Well, what's another thing? And I think this is the most important thing to add to that. Once you have a trade, you also need to have a stop loss. I suggest having your stop loss before you have your trade. So, well, what are you going to use for your stop loss? I like to use my PSAR. I like to use the parabolic stop and reverse. I'll toggle that on right now. So the parabolic stop and reverse is going to give you these little dots, and you can just trail all the way through your trade. Once you get in a trade, you enter the trade. Just if you look at this one, price hit the price hit the stop and reverse right here, and now my stop loss would be right above, right above. If I was bearish on a trade, you would have entered down here when price passed through the high. I mean the low. When price passed through the low, you would have entered, and then you would have had your stop loss above the previous day's high. That's the way it looks right now. All right. So you have your stop loss as well. Make sure you have a stop. Always, 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 always have a stop loss intact. Because you can be right at the wrong time. Y'all know y'all been at the right place at the wrong time, all right? And sometimes you've been at the right place at the right time. Well, here in trading, you can that's the same thing. As above, so below. Everything works in harmony and together. So it's the same thing. So we got Euro GBP. We're gonna move forward from that one, and we're gonna go over to Euro CHF. If you have any questions regarding the Euro GBP, type them in the chat as well. If you had any questions regarding the Euro GBP, type them in the chat. If not, what we're going to do is continue forward to the Euro CHF. So taking a look at the Euro CHF right now, let's close this. It's in a wholesale area. It's below value. It's in a wholesale area. Take it. I like to stick between the 0 and the 0.382 or the whole candle. This candle just happens to go right above the 0.382. So it's either going to be the candle or it's going to be between the 0 and the 0.382. I just choose between those two to make my wholesale levels. And then we have our retail level right here. So price is currently below the value, the average value. So if you bought it right now, you'll be buying at a good price. Great. You'll be getting it at a good price. Yeah. But also right now at this time, it's currently on a slight downtrend. So that's where I get at, or we get at, where price could just consolidate in this area. So we have Euro, Swiss franc consolidating in the wholesale area. Let's take a look at the daily. We take a look at the daily. We see that stochastic is at 20. I round it. So yeah, I'll round up and we'll just call it 20. Currently, that stochastic is at 20. Now, if this trade was to start making higher highs, let's just call it at point 0.93771, that green line that's going across, man, it looks like it could be an A trade. Now remember, for an A plus trade or A trade, below 20, below 20, below 15, making higher highs. Oh yeah, sign me up because it's telling me like, hey, you're getting it on a discount right now. Price to steam is going up, the demand is increasing. I'm buying the supply. Buy the supply and sell the high. All right. So price is down on the stochastics right now, telling you that it's below price. The weekly showing you that. The daily is showing you that this is like the supply area, if I may. And then the 4 hour just giving you your entries, giving your entry and your stop loss, period. Your entry and your stop loss, period. Right now, this is all about patience. It's like, to me, it sounds easy. It doesn't sound like a lot. Maybe I've been doing this for a few years, but it goes to patience, just having patience. Have patience, wait on your trade. All right. So Euro CHF, man, what do y'all want to grade that in the chat? What do y'all want to grade that in the chat? An A or a B? If we start getting the higher highs on the Euro CHF, I'm gonna have to give it an A. I'll give it an A simply because of the stochastics. So yeah, I'll give it an A because of the stochastic. So that would be a 1% trade. I would do a 1% on that trade for myself. And then going back to the previous trade, that would be a 0.65 because that was a B trade. All right, we clear as mud. That was a military reference. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We're going to go ahead and proceed forward. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. Mahogany Spirit. Can we look at AUD USD? Yes, we can. We'll take a look at that right now. Noah wants to take a look at AUD USD. All right. If you have any tickers, feel free to type them in the chat as well. I don't want to just go off of what I'm looking at. I also would like to be there for you and what you're looking at. So right now we're going to take a look at the Australian dollar versus the United States dollar, the USD. So if I did looking at this one, the wholesale area, we're currently at what I consider the fair value price. Now the fair value is right there at the middle. It's right there in the middle between your wholesale and your retail, as you see here. And well, even if I took this off, even if I took the fibs away, you see that it's slightly below the anchor VWAP. And remember the anchor VWAP at the anchor VWAP is your average price. So price, think about it like this. Price is always trying to get to the average price. Now, these are people buying and selling, bidding and asking, right? So price is just that people just always trying to agree. And it just so happened that people don't always agree, right? An agreement would be consolidation. That would be price sitting right there at that anchor VWAP, that average price. Now, what happens is sometimes price overshoots it, right? And then that's when you have your strong bullish trade. And sometimes price undershoots it, where it continues to go down past that average price. And that's where you have a good bearish trade. So think about it like that. If price is right there at the anchor VWAP, well, it doesn't have that much room to, that's fair value. It doesn't have that much room to grow, to go either way, whether it's down or up. It's actually at an anchored, actually at a average price. And currently right now with the AUD USD, it is at that price. And looking at the daily, it's currently the stochastic is below. So now, well, what does that mean? To me, it's a possibility that it'll continue to consolidate. I would just be waiting now. I wouldn't take a bearish trade. That should be just based off of the things that's been said. That should be kind of evident. Well, I'm not going to take a bearish trade because one, it's already below value. It's below its average value, right? And then the stochastic. This stochastic is at 12. This stochastic is at 12, right? So I'll just call it 12. And could it go up? It potentially could go up because price could get to that average value and then just continue going up. Uh, I like me personally. I don't. Yeah, it would be personal because it's my personal rules. My personal rules is to buy within the wholesale area. That's just it. Like that's something that I learned to do, and it's stuck with me. Buy wholesale. You know, if you're buying, buy wholesale. Currently, we're not at that wholesale price. So for me, I wouldn't have this one on the list at this time. Let me know if that makes sense to you, Noah, and if I answered your question. Let me know if I answered your question in chat. And anybody that's tuning in, whether you're watching now or whether you're watching later at home, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'll be doing Sunday charting school every Sunday. All right, cool. We got a yes in the chat. All right, perfect. So now we're gonna move on. We took a look at Euro GDP. We gave that one a B trade. We took a look at the Euro CHF. We gave that one an A trade. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at Euro USD. What is it about the euros? What is it about the euros? So taking a look at the Euro USD, you see here, I guess I already had charted out, right? We have our swing high up here, which is our retail area, and then we have a swing low down here. We have our swing low right around this area. Let me see, remove. Okay. So right around June 24th, we have our swing low and our swing high around September 2024, obviously. Uh, and it looks like we got to that area. Like I said, I like to do the candle, and I see that price is right above the candle. So watch this for instance. I can either use that candle or I can use this whole entire area. I said this before on YouTube is that for YouTube, I'm open to using the whole area. This is more risky. This is more conservative. Risky, right? That's a bigger box. It's a bigger target area, right? Conservative, all right? So we're gonna stick with. We'll take a look at it this way. We're in the wholesale area on Euro USD. We are in a wholesale area on the Euro USD. All right, that's cool. So that lets me know that hey, we may be able to get a buy here, right? We may be able to get a buy around these areas. So looking at the daily is at 15. Hmm. The daily is at 15. The daily stochastic value is at 15, and that means it's below the midline. That's two check marks. I like those check marks so far. Now, what we'll be waiting on? Well, on the Euro USD, we would just be waiting on some higher highs to be made. Currently, the market is open and it's still going down. I'll have to take a look and see. I just got a trade locker alert. I'm not sure. I need to look at it. Let's see what's going on here. Let me take a look. I guess this is my oil trade. All right. I'm in oil trade, by the way. So Euro is currently going down, and we're looking for a bullish trade on Euro USD. Now, let me know in the chat based off of what you see. What do we have? What kind of trade do we have? Do we have an A trade or a B trade? In the chat, do we have a A trade or a B trade? I think I'm below 15. We're in the wholesale area. Let me see here. Let me refresh this just one more time. All right. We're in the wholesale area. Now, I really like going here. I really like going here. Like this to me, when prices are within that little candle, man, I like to swing. I like to take my swings right there. Now, if I have to widen it out, like I said, between 0 and a 0.618, if I widen it out like that, it's still a good trade. If it start making higher highs, what that's going to allow you to do also is it's going to allow you the opportunity to take more trades within that area, right? So if we start making higher highs in the wholesale area, well, that's cool. I'm fine with that, right? I mean, how many trades are you going to get? Like, to be honest, you may get two or three trades. You may get two or three trades, and I mean, three sounds like a lot. You may get two higher highs before price breaks out of that box. Now, I'm not saying it must break out of that box, but when the trade is going in your favor, you're only going to get maybe two to three. Let's see here. Oh, so I see a Bitcoin trade. That's what happened. Give me 1 second. Well, actually, you don't have to give me 1 second. I'm taking a look at it. So I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I'm gonna go back to Bitcoin as well. So looking at the euro, hmm, looking at the euro USD, right? I like this trade. I'm going to let's see what we got in the chat before I give my answer. I got some A's. Let's see. No, it says B if you are trading the more conservative. I agree. I agree with that. So if I was to go more conservative, like if thinking more conservative, if it's because let me do it this way, I'll show you. If prices within this area right here, man, that would be a clear. If price was right in between here or below and it starts going up, that's going to be a clear A trade to me. That would be a clear A trade to me because I mean, price will be below the 15, which is at 15. It's at the 15 below the stochastics here. Um, so with having it, the range, giving yourself more. This basically think of it like this. It's giving you more room for error. The wider you give that box, that's more room for error. Now it is the wholesale area, and you're not going to be perfect on all your trades. That's why I'm willing to widen that box. I'm willing to widen that box also because I don't want to miss out on the trade. It's okay to miss out on a trade. I'm not going to chase it, but just think about it like that. Like, okay, I have more room for error, but you're also not going to be right every trade. So on this trade, man, can we give it a B plus? I would give it an A. This would be an A to me. If price was right here, within this box right here, and it could. I mean, maybe we have some news tomorrow. Let me see something, cause yeah, maybe we have some news tomorrow, right? And it'll bring price down, then we'll start looking for a reversal. But if we're gonna leave the wholesale range right here, I'm gonna give this one a B plus. I'll give it a B plus. Now with a B plus, we're still gonna give it a 0.65. I'm not gonna I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had it at an A. At first I had it at an A, but Noah got to me. He brought me down to my he said, "Hey Tony, y'all take a look at your rules. Take a look at your rules." That's what I heard in my head. Like, hey, take a look at your rules. If price isn't within that area, it's a B plus. So we'll take a look at that one. Let me go to Bitcoin real quick because I saw that I must have did something, and I need to know what my next decision needs to be. Bitcoin. Okay, I have to check that real quick. All right, perfecto. So now on the forex, we're gonna go over to the GBP US. No, GBP euro. The GBP euro. Now the GBP euro. Taking a look at this one, right? Man, this one is it's out of there. It's above the retail area. So price is above the retail area, which means to me that hey, start looking out for a bearish position here. Turn your little get your ears ringing. Start paying attention to a bearish position here. Although it could continue to go up and hit that golden ratio price. I'm not gonna say all the times. I think a lot of the times it does hit the golden ratio. I'll find out more and have more for y'all on that. So I would be looking for a bearish trade on the euro, on the GBP euro. And the reason also with that is the stochastics. The stochastic is above the 50 as well, and slightly is creeping down. It's at 70, which means that you have, if it's at 70 and you're looking for a bearish trade, that the opposite of that, vice versa of that, would be like saying, hey, I'm looking at this bullish trade and it's at 30. You have 70. I'm gonna call it value points. There's probably a bet that's for a lack of better term, I'll call it value points. You have you have about 70. You have about 70 value points on the way down. Vice versa of saying that, another way of me saying that, if we're looking bullish and it was at 30 value, you would have 70 value points to look on the way up. So right now you have 70 value points to look at the way on the way down. So we will be looking for some lower lows to be created on the GBP euro. So now on this here, let's see here. I think it's gonna sound strange. Man, I would like to give it an A, but the stochastic is right there at about 60. So with bullish, so I didn't say this, but with the stochastics, bearish, you would like for it to be above, you would like for it to be above 80. 80 between 80 and 85. Above, let me say it like this, above 80 and above 85. Now that's like super bearish. It's like, yo, I ain't gonna say you gotta come down, but yo, you gotta come down, right? I would say it like that. So looking at the GBP euro, you would want to see it come down. I'm gonna go ahead and rate that one. What do y'all have in the chat? What would y'all rate that one at in the chat? Let me know what you would rate the euro, the GBP euro, uh, for this trade. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this one. Man, it sounds very timid to me, but I'll go ahead and give it a B. The reason I give it a B is just off the stochastic. If the stochastic was at about 80, 85, then I definitely would give it an A. Definitely would give it an A because price on the weekly would be above that value area. Yeah. B, price consolidating. Mahogany says B, price consolidating above retail. Exactly. I agree with you on that one. I agree with you. So I'll give it a B as well. So that trade to me would be a 0.65. And when I say 0.65, once again, for anybody that's just tuning in, the 0.65 would represent the risk. I don't want to over leverage it. It's a long, the way to play this game, right? The way to play the game is you got to have the tool. The tool to play this game is the money. Yep, the stochastic has not fully crossed down. Yeah, so we could see some consolidation here on the GBP euro. But if it does start making lower lows, there's not a question about it. I'm shooting my shot. I'm Steph Curry. I'm LeBron with it. I'm shooting. All right. So those are the four forex tickers that I want to show you guys today. Now we're going to go into the two stock tickers that I was taking a look at and that I found on the chart that you may be interested in. You may be interested in. First one's up is Google. Let me take this off because I'm not sure what exactly that is. But taking a look at Google here, let's do the wholesale area. We'll do the wholesale area and then we'll do our retail area. All right. Google is currently consolidating, right? Looking at Google, we got the wholesale area. It's currently consolidating right above that box. I'm not sure what's coming out, but take note. Take note of it. Take note of what I'm saying right here. Google is currently consolidating above that wholesale area. It's at its average price. Well, how do you know it's at its average price? The anchored VWAP is telling me that. The anchored VWAP is showing me that. I don't know the mathematics on it. Some people are a lot smarter regarding this specifically created this. I just understand what it means. So price is currently at that average price for that VWAP. Let me refresh it. All right, perfecto. Price is currently at that average price for that VWAP, and the stochastic is at. You see it moving to the side. Don't let them play you. Now, on my now, just think about it. This is a product. You could get this product for average price. You could get this product for average price. I'm thinking on Google that it continues to go up. Now, I'm not saying this is an A trade. I'm not saying it's a B trade. But if we take a look at Google right here, we see that it's consolidating below price. It's a lot. It's consolidating below its average price, and I believe the golden ratio. Let's see here. So price is at 166, and then we got the golden ratio. Uh, hmm, okay, we're moving. The golden ratio is at 221. So we could have a target if we have Google at 166. We could have a target at like say 185 to 221. So that's what I'm calling. I got Google at 166 with a price target of 185 to 221 on Google. All right. That's taking a look at Google. Now, something I would like, and just for an example, you see what happened when price was in the wholesale area. Prices in the wholesale area and the stochastic was down right here, September the 11th. September 11th, price was at that area, and then what happened? It continued to go up. Prices below the 50 and continued to go up. It went up here, and then prices overpriced. So then it started consolidating, right? So pay attention to that. I like to honestly on Google, I would like to see the value be below 50, but it's something to think about. Also, if you're into vertical spreads, that's something to think about as well. You could do a vertical spread on Google, and the vertical spread to go with will be looking at a credit spread. I like doing credit spreads. Credit spreads, you can look at a credit spread and go like we would call it a short. We'll call it a short put. So you would call it a short put because you're selling the way that the market is not going. A short put. If you're bullish on it, if you're bullish on Google, you would go a short put because you're selling the opposite. A short put. Okay, well that's a short put. Well, okay, I hear you, Tony. Well, what's a short call then? All right, we're gonna take a move on. We're gonna go over to J and J. J and J is the second ticket that we have on the stock list. I'm gonna go ahead and clear these charts real quick, and now we're gonna chart it up. We look for our swing high first. We got our swing high right here. Now, if price is kind of below it already, I'll make it bigger because I do want to give myself an opportunity to play the game. You can't just sit on the sideline the whole time. You got to get in the game. So looking at this, I see that Johnson and Johnson. I see that Johnson and Johnson is above the its value, its anchored value price, right? It's above its value price, and that's one. It's in a retail area. Two, the stochastic. The stochastic is it's at 61. I can go ahead and tell you right now, this trade to me would be a B. I would give it a B, and it may be even a B minus, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and stick with a B. If I was looking at this trade to enter on the stock side, you could take a look at a short call. Because the reason you're going to say short call is because you're selling the way it's not going. I never put it that way, and that way just made so much more sense to me. And I've said it other ways that I can't say on YouTube, but you're selling the way that it is not going, right? So if price was the reason you would think about a credit spread is because if price was to consolidate going sideways, well, guess what? You can make money with the market going sideways, or and also if it goes down, you'll make money both ways. If you were to buy it, that would not happen. If you were to buy a put, if the market goes sideways, you would not make money. You're only going to make money if the market goes down. So here, if you do a short, if you were going to do a credit spread, a vertical spread, then you will make money whether the market stays sideways, if it goes sideways, or if it continues to go down, you will make money, which increases your probability of trading. So let's see here. Question GBP previous chart. When price exceeded, this question is from Mahogany Spirit. Thank you so much for your question. It's much appreciated here. So, GBP, the previous chart. When price exceeds high on the fib, should we consider adjusting our fib to the uptrend because it's no longer in a downtrend? Let's see. I like that. Let's take a look at that one. GBP. That would have been the GBP. GBP. EUR. So let me read the question again. When price exceeds the high, okay, price exceeded the high here on the field. Should we consider should we consider adjusting our fib to the uptrend? So what's going to end up happening is when price starts making a lower low on the weekly, when that weekly starts making a lower low, as you see right now, the weekly is pretty much in it's an inside, it's an inside week basically. It's inside of the previous week. But when price starts going down, that's then going to give you the opportunity to formulate or draw your new high. The new pivot high would be last week. That green candle we see today, we see today based on the weekly, that line that's going straight up, that vertical line. That's the week we're at right now. The previous week where that green candle is would be where you set your new swing high. That's where you would place your fib. But that won't happen until let's say next week. But not even next week, because that's me predicting. It won't happen until price starts making its lower lows on the weekly. So once price goes below that weekly, man, yeah, once price goes below that weekly, um, you'll be able to then go and make that swing high. I just saw something and I need to check it again. I don't know if the market. So what is? Yeah, we gotta check some stuff on here. Um, and that's it. That's all I have. I'll take a look at oil real quick as well. Oh, oil made a nice little somehow made a drop. I'm not sure if the market's open or whatnot. Uh, let's see here. Okay, so oil is in a wholesale area right now. We see that oil is. I like oil. I like oil. It's in this wholesale area, and also Mahogany. Let me know if I answered that question for. Okay, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. And no one wants to take a look at USD CAD is high on my stochastic. So we'll take a look at that. Let me see something here. We'll take a look at that. Taking a look at oil real quick. We see that oil also is in a wholesale area. And it's also below value. So looking at oil to make higher highs. I think something happened over the weekend, maybe on Friday, that caused this because this would be considered. I mean, I think We closed at about 71 and opened at 68 today, right now. So I'm not sure what that's exactly about, but we'll definitely be tuning in. We'll definitely be tuning in to that to see what's going on. So make sure you take a look at it. I don't think your comments on that. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Okay, let's take a look at that USD CAD. What time do we have here? Okay, USD CAD, USD CAD. Okay, USD CAD. All right, I have this one charted because I was looking at it. USD CAD, I have it marked at its retail area. It's currently marked at its retail area. Stochastic is definitely high right now. Would we be buying? What would we be buying right now? This is a good example of what not to buy. Stochastic is high. We took this trade, if you recall, we took this trade down here. I think it was a few. Well, I see it right here. It was a few. It was. I think we got in around September. We got in around September, and I sold somewhere like right here at the beginning of the retail area. And now, currently today, we are very high on the stochastic. Now, what we have to be mindful of is price could continue to go to the golden ratio. That's something to be mindful about because price didn't just have this big increase on demand for no reason. There was a reason. There was a reason for this increase, right? So I wouldn't think of, oh man, hey, price went up. Well, it must go down. If anything, it may consolidate and then continue to go to this golden ratio. But right now, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't just happen right here at this moment. We could get a retrace or a correction, or what they'll call it. You could get a correction to come down to this 50 mark and then continue going up. But right now, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's going to go just down at this moment. I wouldn't say that it's going to go down directly at this moment. It is very high. It is something to add to your watch list, but it just went up. It's like something's hot right now. Like a new fad. Something's hot right now in the market. It's trending. Well, if it's trending, we got to give it some time to kind of fizzle out, to kind of play out. It's bullish. It's above value. We know we're not going to buy it. We know we're not going to buy it at this given moment right now. But what we can do is add it to our watch list and get ready for a sale. So we already know, and that's how you also limit your risk management. That's also how you limit your risk management. So take a look at that. On this one, I wouldn't touch it at this moment. I wouldn't touch it. I would give it some time. It may consolidate at this level. I would wait for it to start making some bearish moves. We haven't made any bearish moves yet. We had a green week last week. We had a green candle just following through, and even on a 4 hour, we have green candles following through. So on USD CAD, I would be waiting for it to start slowing down and giving us some reversal points. So if that's it for me, that's all I have for you. I want to be very respectful of your time. We've been on for an hour. That's my goal, is to give you guys an hour of information. I'm not just giving content. I want to give information. Those, and that's yeah. I want to give information, right? So information that you can use for this week to have a green week and to become better as profitable traders. The goal is to be profitable. Remember to cut your trades, risk management, risk management, risk management, and what have a green week. Stay patient. There may not, and that's okay. But when you do get that pitch, when that ball does come your way, be there to swing. Be there to swing. So I want to leave you guys with that. I thank you for joining in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check out the links in the chat and stay tuned for more. I'll be here every Sunday. And this is today's Sunday Charting School. Y'all take care and have a wonderful week. Peace.